A good man has two sons. He had raised them after their mother died until they attained maturity, when he wanted his sons to get married to two good girls, but they refused. They asked him to leave them choose their own wives freely. He didn't mind and advised them to choose well. The two sons got married to two girls that the father didn't like them, but he didn't object and asked Allah to grant guidance to them and their wives. A month later, after their marriage, the father grieved so much when he saw his oldest son leaves the prayer to satisfy his wife. Also, he agrees with all her requests and never disobeys her, as well as his youngest son that he doesn't see him at home, since he and his wife always go out and return late at night. The father's grief turned into a disease that made him unable to walk on his feet, only with a wheelchair. The problem began when the father takes the driver to get him to the mosque so he can observe the group prayer. The oldest son's wife said to her husband, "Your father is taking the driver without our permission. Also, he is whining a lot from his pains. I am about to give birth and I can no longer leave the maid and the driver only to take care of him, as I need them a lot." The son found himself embarrassing of his wife's request, so he didn't find a solution except to deal with his youngest brother and take their father after a week to the nursing home without telling him about it. The father felt the intention of his sons and their wives, so he prayed at night and asked Allah to heal him. Indeed, earlier than a week, Allah answered the father and healed him, and he could walk on his feet again, but didn't tell his sons about it. He collected all his ownership papers and nobody knows about it. One morning, the son carried their father and sat him in the car, and one of them said to him, "We will get you to a hospital, as a doctor came from overseas, had examined your papers and told us that there is hope for your recovery. As you have taught us how the kindness to the parents is and made us memorize the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the father is the middle gate to paradise. So if you wish to neglect that door, so protect it, so we are kind to you." Minutes later, the father, surprised that his sons get him to the nursing home, and handed him over to the nursing management, and they came back to their home happily. After that time, the father went to the bank and took all his money. Moreover, he sold the house which his sons lived in, then left the nursing home and went to his brother in the capital. The two sons and their wives were surprised by the new owner of the house, who came with the police to expel them. So each wife went to her father's house angrily, and each one said to her husband, "I will wait you until you solve your problems with your father."
فلما نسوا ما ذكروا به فتحنا عليهم أبواب كل شيء حتى إذا فرحوا بما أوتوا أخذناهم بغتة فإذا هم مبلسون فقطع دابر القوم الذين ظلموا والحمد لله رب العالمين.